and let me get this started because if you have a question, chances are someone else will have it. So what can I do for you?
All right, so I'm going to bombard you real quick.
Go
Okay,
for it.
so just to let you know, I'm an agent myself. The hiccup is, I guess, all we're doing is adding a contract to the original contract, an assignment, right?
Yeah, there's just another step in the process. The only
Right,
difference is the person that you're dealing with the majority of the time is not the end buyer,
right,
meaning the
right. You
wholesaler.
right. So this is what I'm trying to understand. So I get if I'm dealing with a real estate agent, I send them our contract. She sends us hers. We
Hmm.
sign it. We get X amount of days to find a buyer.
Hmm.
10, 15 days, right?
Right?
So then we add the assignment to the bunch of contracts, right?
No. So yes and no. So your question is when and where do you add your assignment fee?
Well, I guess my question is when I get a buyer,
Hmm.
okay, I send him a contract
Right?
with my name as the seller.
Correct.
And then we take that contract and the previous contract to the title company.
Yes, but you missed one critical step. On the assignment contract for your buyer, yes, you are listed as the seller. You're also going to be listing the purchase price. Your purchase price for that contract is going to be different than the contract you
Oh yeah,
signed with the
my
seller because of your
my,
assignment fee.
my $25,000
There
assignment
you go.
fee, or 10 or whatever.
Hey, go for it. If you can get it close, get it close.
No, yeah. So here's where my hangups I've been getting is basically I ran into, now I know it says, now I was trying to pull up the contract for the deed in lieu, where in your cheat sheet it says, oh, we waived the right to foreclose. Is that in
Mhm.
that, or is that a separate contract or separate statement?
That's in our assignment contract.
Oh, is it? See, I haven't looked at it because I haven't got that
Oh,
far.
yeah, yeah, that's in ours. So basically, what happens is because a lot of realtors, when especially if they're new to this, like if they've never done a creative deal before, they're like, "Well, wait a minute, what's the seller protection? We're not running credit, we're not checking
Right, right,
DTI,
right.
we're not doing any of that." It's the deed in lieu. The buyer signs away all their rights to fight it. If they don't make the payment, you lose the house. Very simple, cut and dry. You got 2 weeks. If
Yeah,
you
no,
miss
I
the
had a
payment
deal
on the
going.
first,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very, very, very cut and dry. So now the only rebuttal you will get to that sometimes, it's very rare, but sometimes they're like, "Oh, the seller doesn't want the house back."
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? It's better than you having to go through a foreclosure process to try and get your money.
And
So you
basically,
got to
when that
kind of
happens, they
weigh
keep
it.
all the money already given to them.
Yeah. Anything that the down payment, any monthly payments they've received, any upgrades done to the property. And then also, if there's a tenant in that property, that tenant now belongs to the seller. And so does the rent, the deposit, that all goes to the seller now.
Yeah, no wonder why I'm saying, well, I don't see that clause anywhere. But then again, I never got it as far as the assignment contract yet.
Yeah, you
All
just got to
right.
get to the assignment contract and it'll be in there.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, because like I said, I'm getting a lot of pushback. Um, so the title when it go, so let me ask this. So we do all that stuff, and then once we send it to, like in Jersey, it's attorneys first, or the whatever the title company. What's the process there? Does my buyer deal with the seller, or does my buyer deal with me and I deal with the seller? I mean, what do I do once I basically submit? Because usually in real estate, I don't do anything after I submit it. They take care of everything, right? Between the
Right.
buyers and the seller. So in this case, is my buyer dealing directly with the title company who deals directly with the seller, and I'm just in the background?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And you want to make sure you have, and this is regardless of how you disposition the deal, but when you do get to that point, once you find a buyer and the deal is in escrow, ready for close, and you're just waiting to get paid, basically, whether it's one of my transaction coordinators or you find your own, get yourself a good transaction coordinator because then you're really hands off. They do everything. They chase down the paperwork. Oh, we need the signature on this. Oh, we need the mortgage statement, or we need this for title. They chase it all down, and they're not paid until the deal is closed. So
Okay,
get a transaction coordinator. I do recommend that.
now I'll get to your team in a bit. I want to buy. So as far as the payments, does the title company do that, or do you use a service company?
we can either use a service company if the seller has a particular one that they want to use, or we can just go straight through the same escrow company that we're going through for closing.
So they do it themselves. They set everything up.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to put it in the instructions, which it is, but yes.
Okay, and I mean, when that time comes, we'll get the bank account numbers and everything like that. When the
Absolutely.
time comes. Oh, now
Which
I just
is,
read
again,
about.
another reason when you get into it, get yourself a transaction coordinator.
Yeah, once I start.
It would be weird for you as the wholesaler to call the real estate agent or the seller and say, hey, give me your mortgage account login information. You know what I mean? So it's better to have either escrow do it or a transaction coordinator do it. Less explanations, just smoother.
Yeah, plus you want to get more deals, basically.
Yep.
So yeah, so let me say the virus is. So I read the 4, so that takes care of that. Yep. Yeah, you see, I could not find that clause about forfeiting, because I'll go back to this other guy. He wanted a big down payment because, in case in Jersey it takes 2 years to foreclose on somebody. He didn't want to take that shot. But now if we waive it, that's fine. All right.
Yeah, you can literally look in our what kind of deal is it? Cash deal? Or I'm sorry, a seller finance or
Seller finance, yeah.
Oh yeah, just download the contract and you can literally snip that clause and be like, hey, this is what we have our buyer sign.
Yeah, in the assignment contract. Yeah, like I said, I haven't looked at that one. That's good. All right, beautiful. I'll send it to him. You never know. All right, pretty much that's it. Because I had a feeling I said I was missing something here, because I can't just say, oh, if we miss it, 2 payments, you get the place back. We don't
No,
want
it's not 2 payments. So the buyer, all payments are due on the 1st, and then there's a 5-day grace period, and then if the payment isn't paid by the 15th of that same month, that's when the process starts. It's not
2 weeks. Yeah,
it's
2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, that's even better. All right. Yeah, I figured. I said I'm missing something here. This is pretty basic, but I'm just missing the whole concept of whatever. Here's one for you. Now, are you in charge of DealSniper, or you just use it?
No, I'm in charge.
So is there any way we could change the verbiage on the email going out, or we just have to do our own verbiage?
So DealSniper's got one that we have, and when you say the layout, like what exactly are you talking about?
Because I get a lot of questions of what is this? We'll accept your offer. I said, did you read the terms? What terms? I saw you're giving 35,000 over ask. I go, yeah, but it's over 20 years. Oh no, we don't want that. Like something right in the beginning saying, hey, this is not a cash offer. This is not a conventional loan. I mean, it does kind of say that, but
I mean, it really does say that.
It does say that. Yeah, I know. But
yeah, I mean, the offer terms are like right here. It says
exactly. I know. Believe me, but I've honestly had, like I said, I just started this, so I've honestly had like 4 or 5 agents call me, say, hey, write it up on the contract. Well, we got it. And then I call them and said, did you read the terms on this? What do you mean? And then they go, oh no, I just saw the price. I go, I know. I guess I guess I'll just add a boldface. This is not a conventional loan. This is, I'll take care of that.
I mean, it literally says right here, please note, this is not your typical cash or conventional offer. It's the second sentence.
I hear you. You did. I hear you. I read it too. I go, that's why I was saying, did you read the email? What?
I mean, I'll tell you what, you can use this little button here if you want to ever change the verbiage.
Oh, here are you.
Oh, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I was on the wrong computer.
Oh. You can hit this button here if you ever want to change the verbiage or the layout of what it looks like. It'll generate something new. And then in Discord, in the cheat sheet, I actually put another version of this letter that kind of gives a little bit more information. Now, if they're not making it to this port, to this part here, I don't know how much better the rest of the information
I know. I know, it's crazy. Now let me ask you this, Sean. You say, because some of these offers, I say, wow, that's freaking way over asking. And you're saying if they accept this deal, you'll be able to sell it?
Yeah. Because remember, we're not. Are you familiar with cash deals on the wholesaling side, or are you coming into wholesaling just as a realtor?
Listen, I did wholesale. I did 2 wholesaling deals. Right. That was it. I just started doing this like a year and a half ago. I gave it up after a year because I was doing something else, but I want to get back into it. But
so if you come from the cash side, even with the 2 deals that you did, you understand the concept. You get the deal for it. You get the property under contract as cheap as you can.
Right.
You sell it to an investor for a little bit of a bump, and then they're going to put some money into it. They're going to flip it. They're going to make a big profit and then move on to the next, right?
Right.
In this situation, the investor that we're selling this to is a buy and hold investor. So they don't care what the ARV is because they're not going to sell it. They don't really care too much what the purchase price is, as long as the entry fee is low and the deal cash flows. The plan for these investors, most of them, is to keep the thing long term and then will it from family member to family, generation to generation.
So let me
So,
ask you this. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, generation to generation. Jeez, that's cool. That's really long term.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's literally the plan
Well,
of. I mean, look
but
at BlackRock. I mean, that was one of those things where it started off small, couple properties, and then it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and passed on, and now it's the biggest in the world.
so well, here's the question I have, because no one's doing 20 years. Well, I don't know if they do. I haven't ran into. Well, actually, the one guy that won a big down payment, he said he'll do it for 20 years, and I'm like, most people are like, no. Well, we need like 5, 7, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is based on 26 years of, I guess, you know, real estate going up in 20 years, you're going to make that money back. But does that number change if you reduce the number of years you're paying? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this thing, like say for instance, 187. I don't know what the price of the house is. I'm just using your example here. It's
Well, yeah.
26 years, right?
Right.
Well, in 26 years, of course, this house is going to be worth a lot more than it is today. But
Mm-hmm.
is that number going to be valid 10 years from now, where they're not, where they got to take a big chunk out?
Well, so here's how we typically do this. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, especially newer people wholesaling, not so much realtors. Obviously, you know how mortgages work. But a
Yeah,
lot of people who are getting into wholesaling don't realize that a typical mortgage, if you go to a bank, is 30-year term.
right.
So when it's spitting out, now granted, I do see a couple that are like 50 years and something like that, but you just add a balloon to it, you're good. You just
Well, that's
make
what I'm
sure
saying.
that
Yeah,
your balloon is within range.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what's the price of this house? Just curious that you got up here.
They're listing it for 170.
170. Yeah. So
So we
I think
added 17,000 to the purchase price.
yeah. So that'd be good in 10 years too. I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
But
yeah,
what I
like I
tell a
said,
lot of people to do is if this is long, or even if it's not that long, right after this word, just put space, balloon, and then put a range. Depending on the purchase price, make sure the purchase price matches your range. If it's less than $100,000, you can do a 1 to 3 year balloon. If it's 150,000 to like 300,000, you're going to do like a 7 to 10 year balloon. If it's more than 350,000, you're going to do like a 12 to 15 year balloon. And you just put that right here, because then at that point, it doesn't matter what this number is. This could be 1,000 years. Who cares? Because the balloon, you're going to get paid off in this range, whichever one you want. The
right?
higher, the lower, the mid of the balloon that we're proposing, the range. So,
Yeah, yeah. All right.
and then
Yeah,
I
I
would
usually yeah
recommend this though. If this number is ridiculous,
yeah
maybe just delete it and
put up
put
some number in there.
put balloon, change term length to balloon, and just put balloon and then whatever your range is.
Yeah, I did have a couple 50 years. Like what?
Yeah, that I would, because I mean, again, some people, if you're telling me that real estate agents aren't making it to the second sentence of our offer and they're just going boom right here, then I
But
don't know
listen,
how good it's going to help to put the balloon here. They may not
yeah,
even look at it, but it's up to you.
listen, my friend. There's a lot of dumb agents in Jersey. Well, I could be one of them, but I'm just saying. I'm telling you, I've been putting out minimum 20, and I'm getting all these responses. I'm like, did you? All I said, did you read the email? What do you mean? And then they're on there, yeah, spending 20 minutes explaining. Nah, he doesn't want that. I'm like, just say no. Leave me
You know
alone.
what? It's one of those things where it's not so much that, I mean, I'm not speaking for all of them. I'm sure there are a couple of lazy ones out there, but you got to think of the circumstance. They've had this property listed for at least 60 days. They get this offer that's over asking that they've been hoping that they get before the offer expires. It can be a little understandable how they just shoot straight to this number and then like, yeah, let's do it. They're excited.
All
They
right.
want to lock it up. So
All
I
right.
get it, but it is, yeah, it's a little annoying to have to, hey, did you look at the email? So what I would recommend, to go back to your question earlier, the reason why we don't change this is because everyone has a different style. And because everyone has a different style, we keep the letter a little generic, and then you can figure out what your style is and then just implement your changes to this section to draw them here to the actual terms.
Yep. Because I do add. This is based on no mortgage. These numbers are based on no mortgage. That's why I do add that. I don't even know if I should add that, because these people half of them don't understand what the hell's going on anyway. I mean, I
Yeah.
just add this number is based on no mortgage. And then I say, if there is a mortgage, the numbers can be adjusted.
Yeah. Yeah, usually when a real estate agent responds to me and says, "Hey," and they indicate that there's a mortgage, "Hey, we like your offer, but this won't work because there's a mortgage in first position," or "Does this offer include the mortgage?" Just something for me to let me know that there's a mortgage. I usually respond back with, "Hey, my apologies. I didn't know that there was a mortgage. I'll tell you what, if you can send me the approximate mortgage balance, interest rate, and monthly payment, I can shoot you a new offer in about 15 minutes covering that mortgage also."
Yeah, that's exactly it.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm gonna start. I don't know. So you think I shouldn't do it? I don't know if I'm because like I said, I added it because I get all these calls, and I don't get that many of them, but like you said, the numbers you were saying, like you put 20, 25 out a day, you should get I don't know how many back in a week. Do 100. If you average 100, you're saying you should get a deal a week, right? Or close to it, maybe. I
So
don't know.
if you do 100 offers a week, which I usually break down simple numbers, 20 a day. So you do 20 a day, 100 a week. Out of those 100, you'll get about 5 positive responses from realtors. Out of those 5 positive responses, you'll lock up about 2 or 3 contracts per week. That's the minimum formula that we're seeing that's being successful right now.
Okay. Well, I'm not there yet, but
That's all right. You'll get there.
I think Jersey I just think Jersey's it's just a I don't know if it's a good state or not to do this because they're very greedy people in Jersey. But either way, okay, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did honestly, except I had one, but the numbers didn't match. I had another one too much down payment. I mean, they're out there. But anyway, I don't want to keep you too long, my friend. Let me see.
Not a problem. I do this all day. I'm here to
So,
help.
is there a clause? Like I was trying to pull it out before, just to well, you know better than me. Yeah, let me pull this up because I was going crazy with these computers, and I don't know what's going on. So, is a clause in there on the initial contract to the seller if we do not find a seller, we're out? Is there something in there so we can get out?
It doesn't say that specifically. What it says is the EMD, or the earnest money. Well, you know what EMD is. If the EMD is due on or before the end of the inspection period, and we usually shoot for at least. No, that's not true. We usually shoot for a 14 business day inspection period, which pencils out to almost 3 weeks, depending on which day of the week you have it signed. So that gives us 3 weeks to find a buyer. If we don't find a buyer, then before the inspection period is over, we let the real estate agent know, "Hey, we couldn't find a buyer. Unfortunately, no one bid it. Here's the best offers that we did get. Let me know if any of these offers work for your seller. If they do, we can move forward and close. If not, good luck to you," kind of deal.
All right. So you make them aware that we're an investment group looking for.
Oh, I'm the guy that's saying the barrier between real estate agents and wholesalers needs to be broken down. Real estate agents, for the most part, do not like wholesalers, and it shouldn't be that way. And the only reason it is that way is because of bad wholesalers. Maybe a little bit of fault on short-sighted or impatient real estate agents, but not so much. It's bad wholesalers who say that they're going to do something, they don't follow up, they don't follow through, and they don't even let the real estate agent know that the deal's not even going to happen. They just ghost them. So it's no wonder most real estate agents don't like working with wholesalers. I'm trying to fix that. So yeah, absolutely tell them the truth. Hey, I'm
Well,
going to wholesale this property out.
yeah, for sure. Wow. So far, so good. Now, so let me ask you this one here, my friend. That
Go
takes
for
care
it.
of that. We did that. Send the paper. Is there any way? So listen. I'm having a hard time. I must be my computers. I've downloaded the deal machine. I've done it 3 or 4 times. I did it on Google Sheets. I've got an Excel, and for some reason they don't stick. I'm always missing. The big one I'm missing is I don't know why it doesn't stick. Sometimes it does, but then I reopen it. I don't know if it's me or it's
Well, when you say it doesn't stick, what do you mean?
like. Let me pull it up. There's this computer really stinks.
Well, I'm on my calculator if you want to direct me.
No, yeah, but I mean, it's like on this one here, I got a copy of it, and on the overview, like seller finance, I don't have the percentage, and I don't even on this one, I can't tell which one it is. Sometimes, but it's there today on one of them, like the entry fee percentage. It doesn't show up on it. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Or
Over
sometimes when I
here?
put inputs, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so weird. And sometimes on inputs, it doesn't update. When I go back to the whatever I'm doing, a sub 2 or a seller finance, it doesn't update. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I got to re-download it again, and it works. And I just don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know
That's
why.
weird. Are you okay?
So-
Hold on. Did you share a copy of yours with anyone?
I don't believe no. No, no, no.
Okay. I mean, because that's the only other thing I can think of that it would ghost in the machine, changing your numbers around. Because I can close this out right now, completely exit out of it, and go right back to it, and my numbers are still
So
right
what are the chances you can send me a hard copy?
there. I don't even know how to do that.
Well, do you have it in Excel or Google Sheets?
Google Sheets.
Do you have
That's
Excel?
I don't. I don't even use Excel.
Oh,
Google Sheets. My thing is when I was a new wholesaler. I know what it's like. And I came from my background, humble beginnings, which means I didn't have any damn money. So I know what it's like to struggle as a wholesaler starting out. So that's why we make things so cheap. Deal
yeah.
Sniper is amazing. We could charge more money for it legitimately, and nobody would be upset. But we want to make it. That's why I teach people how to comp on Redfin instead of batch leads or PropStream, or you know what I mean. That's so not everyone can afford Excel, but anyone can get Google Sheets for free. That's why we keep it on Google.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's just I can't like this one here. It's got that box missing. It's just weird. I don't know why. And it's like I just don't get it. I mean, I guess I got to re-download everything.
What box is missing right now?
Right now, it's that same box entry fee on the overview. When you put the inputs in, and then you go seller, because I usually use seller finance. I got a couple deals, hopefully with that, and the entry fee just doesn't pop up. I don't know why. I mean,
You're talking about this box here or the entry fee
let me go
percentage?
back. I'm talking about the percentage.
Are you using the old calculator?
I downloaded from your site.
You got the new one from Discord like within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll do it again. Yeah,
that's weird. Yeah, do it again. Just to be safe, do it again. If it doesn't work, DM me and let me know, because now I'm curious, because that's weird and your older computer is haunted and I don't want anything to do with you.
And my newer computer sucks.
Yeah, you're stuck.
I'm telling you, I might go back. Way. You know what? I did it because this thing took so long, but this new one, I'm a cheap ass, so I bought a cheapie, but it's like wasting my freaking time. But either way, I'll deal with that. As long as I got something. Okay, here we go. So we can't do that, or I'll let you know. I'll keep letting you know.
Just let me know.
Maybe there's another way. All right, so you mentioned I'm not worried about acquisition. Well, how would acquisition? You do acquisitions and dispositions?
Yeah.
On your team. So how would acquisitions work?
Well, acquisitions, I have an acquisitions team, but any of them that work DealSniper, they do that for their own self-generated leads. They don't do that for me. What they do for me is VA leads.
Is what?
VA leads, virtual assistant, like incoming warm leads from a cold caller.
Okay, so you do disposition. I mean, I'm not worried about it. Acquisitions. I can deal with the disposition part.
Mm-hmm.
So, from what I understand, so I'm part of. I signed up for no accent callers.
Oh, that's why your calculator doesn't look like mine. You have the no accent caller calculator. You don't have the DealSniper calculator, because when you're dealing with no accent callers, 99.9% of the time, there's no realtor involved. These are off-market properties. So that's why it looks different.
You think? No, I think I did it on Deal. I think I did it on your site.
Well, I'm in both Discords. Both of those Discords are mine.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll go back and after this call, I'll go back and do it again.
So, are you in DealSniper or you're in ERW Discord?
I'm in both, right?
So here, but the calculators aren't the same. So if you're downloading the calculator from the calculator link in the ERW Discord, it's different than the one that you're seeing on the screen. You need to go to the DealSniper Discord and then go to the calculator and download, and then it will look like mine. That's why you keep downloading it over and over and over again. It looks the same. It's a different calculator.
Right. Let me do this. I'll do that now. YouTube, this one here, Google Doc. All right, so getting back to disposition. So
go for it.
Now the no accent callers who have accents. I mean, I don't know what I call no accent callers.
You know what? I thought that they actually. I hope, don't take this the wrong way, but they all sound like, to me, they're from New York. They all have a New York accent like yours.
I don't know, not the ones. I'm listening to these recordings. I'm like, what kind of accent is that? Like, and because dude, I did before I did this, in wholesaling, I hired the Philippines, which was not good, and I hired Egyptians, which were good, but these I don't know where they're from. It's like, they're trying to say the name. I said, just say the name. They're not my callers, so I can't tell them what to do, right? And they're trying to say a name. Is this and then the street? And it's like, oh my gosh, just.
Well, I'm very familiar with no accent callers. You can absolutely reach out to your CSM and say, hey, I've been listening to some of the recordings. I would like them to stop doing this and start doing this instead. And they will absolutely implement that change.
Well, I'm going to wait. I've only started like a week and a half ago. I'm not that impressed with the truth, but
no, good point.
I mean, they promised so many leads. I'm like, now they're determining. I mean, what they call a warm lead is someone that's thinking about buying or selling. That's 100K over asking. But that's a warm lead. He's got to motivate to sell. Of course he does. It's 100K over market value. Of course he's motivated. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? How is that a warm lead? But like, as long as I get one or two good ones a month, I don't mind paying. But all right, so getting back to disposition. So what I'm thinking, since you've been helpful, I want to give you something. But how? Now, from what I understand, with no callers, it's 20% for disposition. Is that true?
What do you
or
mean?
not? If I was to give a contract over, it's 20. Now, I don't know if that's you or is that team, their team.
That's them. If you disposition a deal with us, regardless of where it comes from, DealSniper or whatever. Actually, that's not true. If anyone outside of my communities wants to JV a deal with me for dispo, then it's a 70-30 split. They get, it's a 50-50 split. They get 50, we get 50. But because anyone who's in my communities, we give them a 10% bump. So it's a 60-40 split. So you would get 60, my disposition team gets paid 40. That's all deals if you're in either one of my communities.
All right. I'll ask her about the 20% thing.
Yeah, find out what they're doing and let me know. And if I can be any of assistance.
Now, where did you come from, Sean? Because you know too much. You must have been on a bigger team.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Were you on a bigger team or one of these gigantic teams on YouTube?
No, before I did wholesaling, I was a hospice. I worked for hospice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. So, and then like one of those Pace Mobleys or the other guy.
No. I didn't find out who Pace Morby was until like 2 years ago.
Yeah. He must be huge.
I got it. They started explaining and I started learning creative financing. And then the reason why I attribute, or at least here's what other people think who have heard my call recordings or who are close to me, because I have a mental issue, meaning I'm crazy and there's like 6 of me in my head all at once. I can get along with anyone. I just always kind of know what people need to hear and what people want to hear in order to move forward. And I'm not a hard salesman. I'm not a pushy guy. I give people enough information to make their own decision. And that decision is usually to do what I'm telling them to do. So I attribute that to me being, that's why my channel is called Conversation to Close. The way that I teach people, it's not interrogation, it's conversation. You just talk to people. It's not that big of a deal. Have a conversation, have a real conversation, be honest with people, be upfront, set proper expectations, and deliver on what you say you're going to do. You'll be successful. Very simple.
Yeah. All right. Now, let me ask you one more question. Because we don't really talk about this. Is this the only way you're getting leads? Or your team is emailing? Or do you use some other software to find deals around the country?
Well, what do you mean? You mean like as my team, like what they work on for me, or are you talking about what they do on their own?
Either one. I mean, I'm trying to look for another way. Because I think Redfin is good, but it does take a lot to find an email if they're not listed, right? I mean,
not really. If you Google the name and the company they work for, you probably can find an email if they have it listed within the first 2 or 3 search results.
Yeah.
You just got to Google the name of the person and the company that they work for together. That'll really increase your chances of finding the email address. But if not, I always find it's a good way. And correct me if I'm wrong. You're a realtor. I always thought it's a better way to put a voice to the email or the text. And I would usually just call and say, hey, I got an offer on 123 Main Street. You're listing. I don't see your email address anywhere. Can you text that to me? I'm going to send it over here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got no problem doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I hear some of these people, it's like they're afraid of real estate agents. Like, please.
Well, and you know what? In all fairness, I will say this. there is a gap between, or a wedge between real estate agents and wholesalers. I'm just trying to get rid of it. It shouldn't be that way. We should be working together. A good real estate agent and a good wholesaler together, that's unstoppable. You get two ethical people on both sides. Oh my God, the money, you're printing money at that point.
True. But like I said, you got to be like me personally. I was more of a buyer's agent. You know, I had a handful, 10, 20 listings, but to be a real listing agent, I used to work for a guy that's real. Where are you from? You're in Phoenix, right? Was it Phoenix?
No, I'm in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah. We got your beautiful quarterback. You too.
You're welcome.
Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Good luck to you. I'm definitely going to listen, whether I need you or not. I'm going to send you a deal because you deserve it.
Hey, whatever I can do to help you guys out, you just let me know. And not to mention, any deal that someone wants to disposition through my team, I will also provide you with the same disposition material that we're using, and I'll tell you where to post it. So if you find a buyer before my team does, well, then you just get to keep 100% of the deal. My goal with everything that I do is to get people not to need us or me anymore. That's why I don't gatekeep anything.
So let me ask you this: what do you use? Was it InfoLift?
I don't know what that is.
No, never mind. I know all
What
these
is
things.
it?
I haven't used them.
Oh, is that a realtor thing or?
No, it's a wholesaling site. Just put your deals on to all this.
What's it called?
I believe it's InfoLift.
Oh, you're talking Investor Lift.
Investor Lift.
Yeah. I was like, Info Lift? Who are we stealing info from? Why are we lifting their info? What are we doing? No, Investor Lift. Yes, we do use Investor Lift. We use Investor Base. We use Asset Column. And then we have a very big in-house buyers list.
Now, I was talking to a wholesaler, and he just does wholesale. He doesn't do creative finance, but he says it. Now, I haven't talked to him in a while, but he says he doesn't really do creative finance, and he's happy with wholesaling because there's another community that just does that. Investor Lift is pretty much wholesaler, and there's another one that does long term. I guess the same type.
You can post on all of those websites I just mentioned that we advertise our deals on. Either deal, cash deal, creative deals, it doesn't matter. The only thing that I well, maybe you could, but I don't think we've ever done it, is post novation deals on those websites because those go on the MLS. So why post them on, those websites?
Right. All righty. Well, listen. Thank you very much again. And I am going to give you a deal no matter what. It might not be the first one, but you're going to get something for all the help.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. Anytime you need me, let me know.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.